Hello my people, welcome and welcome back to this channel. This is Monica the Boss Lady, and here we speak out to learn. So today I want us to talk about the 5 financial traps. The traps that deprive us of our money that we are supposed to invest. So consider subscribing, sharing and leaving a comment below. I'd also wish to know if I need makeup while producing such videos. Share with me below, I'll be glad to interact with you. So our first trap is mobile credit and bundle expenses. Have you ever calculated how much you spend on credits and bundles per day? The 50 shillings you use to buy credits, which you don't even use the whole of it, and transfer it to bundles that you use to scroll down other people's videos, YouTube and TikTok, that are of no benefit to your finances. Suppose it's that 50 shillings. So cumulatively, 50 times 7 days is 350. Now 350 multiplied by 4 is 1,400. Suppose we take it at 1,000 monthly, then multiply that 1,000 by 12 months, you get 12,000. Assuming you invested that in an empty MMF or maybe a SACCO, how much do you think you would have gained as annual dividends or maybe compounding interest on that? Food for thought. Trap number 2, friendship and family expenses. Do you remember the many times you send a simple 100 to your friend who didn't have supper, another 200 to the other friend who just wanted a lunch out, a 500 shillings to your mother who wanted some cash to buy maybe painkillers, your brother was also stuck, got a puncture, wanted some 300 to repair the puncture, another sister somewhere, the token is out and you send them another 300. Let's take on a lower side, on a monthly basis, it's cumulatively 15 or maybe 2,000. So now 2,000 on a monthly basis times 12 months is a whole 24,000. Assume you invested 20,000 in real estate investment funds. Then how much would you have made as portfolio at the end of the year? The third trap is validation expenses. What do I mean? Just because your friend is staying in a 15,000 rental house, you shift from your 5,000 comfortable house to a 12,000 spacious big house that you don't need, just to please them, just to be at par with them, just to validate yourself that you can also afford. Really? Yes, you can afford. But did you really need it? That designer cloth. You have a closet full of clothes that you don't even wear. But just because your girlfriend wore a designer wristwatch yesterday, you opt to buy of the same today. Just because maybe a friend did a big wedding last month, so you're planning another bigger to beat her next month. Really? The validation expenses. So these validation expenses are the most consuming, because you'll spend in rent, you spend in designer clothes, you spend in these parties, you spend in etc. So at the end of it, you end up wasting a whole 10,000 monthly or even more. So suppose it's 10,000 on a lower side times 12 months, a whole 120,000 that you would have invested to be financially free. Dear loved ones, are we seeing this that I'm seeing? Another trap. I'd beg that you stay along with me, because at the end of this, I'm going to share out with you one way to avoid the traps. So the next trap is TV subscriptions. TV subscriptions. How much do you subscribe on a TV series monthly? Most of us, okay, the cheapest I think is 1,000 on a lower side. And most of us are either employees, employers, or even if we are investors. We don't have time to sit down and watch to a series on a television. So then why do we subscribe? You subscribed 1,000 last month just to watch 15 minutes news daily at 7 a.m. and 15 minutes news at 9 a.m. on a daily basis. That is roughly 30 minutes daily watching news headlines. Then you are gone into your schedule, and the same repeats itself tomorrow. Without knowing, pap, a month is gone and you are to subscribe again. You are used to that. Without knowing, it's consuming that money that you would have invested in something that generates you passive income. So assume you're subscribing at 1,000 monthly. So 1,000 monthly times 12 months is a whole 12,000. Suppose you invested that in a circle of a compounding in a circle. Now at the end of that year, you will have earned dividends. So now compounding that to maybe 3 years, how far financially would you have been? The last expense is church expenses. I know everyone goes to church, apart from the two necessary contributions, that is offering and tithe, of which to me it's only tithe that is necessary. But again, not necessarily that you have to pay it to a pastor, maybe in church. You can generously give out your tithe to anyone that needs support, anyone that you feel is needy, not necessarily tied to a church. But now, because you are so holy and you believe in going to church and giving, have you ever sat down to calculate the many times you volunteer to do something that consumes your cash? So this Sunday, we are paying our pastor's rent. Na wewe ndio huyo na mikono, I'll give 1,000. The next Sunday, we are buying our pastor a suit. Wewe na mikono zako, I'll give 500. The following Sunday, we are paying school fees for our pastor's kid. Tena na mikono zako, I'm giving 2,000. Alafu the final Sunday, we are now building a church. And now it's building a church. You can't give 500. Wewe na mikono zako, I'll give 5,000. Month imeisha, 4 weeks. Now accumulate that. In that month, on a lower side, let's talk of 2,000. 2,000 times 12 months ni 24,000. Of all these expenses that I've talked of, supposing that each of them do consume your 10,000 monthly, of which some exceed, as we've seen, and some are slightly lower than that, as we've also seen. So on average, assume that all of them consume your 10,000 monthly. How much are you parting with? Or let us even lower it to 5,000 monthly. Each one of them consuming your 5,000 monthly. Now 5,000 times the 5 traps that I've shared. is cumulatively 25,000 to 50,000. Imagine 25,000 monthly to 50,000 monthly, and you don't even realize. Yani hizi ni zile pesa zinaendanga tu, you don't even feel like you did something that consumed your cash. They are just gone, and remember, they are not coming back, and they are paying you nothing. Now how do we avoid them? I've told you the traps. How do we then avoid them? I'm glad you're still here, because I promised you that at the end of this topic, I was going to give you a bonus tip of how to avoid these traps. Yes, here we are. How do we avoid all these traps? This is the solution. Whenever you feel, you see, you have any extra time, not time, any extra money that you need to subscribe a TV series, or you need to buy bundles, give yourself a target that I'll only buy credits of 20 bob daily. Ikipita hapo leo sinunui. So when you feel tempted to buy, use that extra money you want to use to buy that credit to pay your recurrent expenses. You have water bills, power bills, school fees, rents, something like school fees. Ukipea mtoto hiyo 50 bob ungetumia kununua credit leo, tena kesho umpe 50 bob. At the end of the month, sitakuwa umelipa 1,500. Then top up and you'll have cleared the balance. Same to validation. If you feel you have this excess money that you want to use to give a whole 5,000 to a church, something that is not adding to your expenses, use that extra 3,000, 2,000, whatever amount it is, and pay your recurrent expenses. Stima inachukua hata 50 bob. Water bill inachukua hata 50 bob. Hiyo 50 bob unaona ni kidogo. Tumia kulipa stima. Stima ni recurrent. Hata ukiavoid kuilipa leo, bado utailipa in future. So hiyo 50 unachezea, lipia stima, lipia maji, lipia school fees, lipia rent. I've talked of some things here that consume more than 5,000. Hiyo 5,000 ukireduce rent, my dear, at the end of the month you just top up. I beg of you, all of you, if you want to be financially free, then avoid these traps. See you next time.